Hey guys, how you doing today? So XTOOL was nice enough to send us a D9S Pro to take a look at. If you're familiar with their D8 series scan tools, this is the big brother to that. Before we take it out of the box and connect it up to the car here, let's just go over some of the specs. So it operates on Android 10, has a 1.8 gigahertz 4-core processor, has a 9.7-inch screen with a 1024 by 768 resolution, 6400 milliamp battery. The VCI is Wi-Fi. Now, you don't have to be connected to Wi-Fi for this to work. You can be out in the desert and you're still going to be able to use this. When they say a Wi-Fi VCI, they mean instead of the VCI communicating with the scan tool with Bluetooth, it uses Wi-Fi, which gives you faster data rates and a farther range, so you can walk away from the car with the tablet in hand and still be able to communicate with it. Has topology. It's CAN FD and DOIP compatible. Now, it's not FCA compatible, so just keep that in mind. It's ECU. It has ECU coding and programming for BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, and Audi. So if you have any of those vehicles, you really need to take a look at the D9S Pro. Because if you change out a module, which they have quite a few, this D9S Pro is going to be able to program those modules and get you back up and running without having to go to the dealer. It has offline programming for Ford and Lincoln. So if you change out modules on Ford and Lincoln, you can get those modules back up and going. It has 42 plus special functions. So that's one of the higher numbers out of any other scan tool that I've seen. It has if you're not familiar with XTOOL's key programming ability that the D8's got, it's for a standalone scan tool. The XTOOL is hard to beat when it comes to key programming. It's the only scan tool that I know of that will actually pull pin codes from like Chrysler vehicles, and I'll show that here in just a minute. Most scan tools, even ones that can program keys, whenever you get to a card that has pin codes or passwords, you're done. You're going to have a dedicated key programmer. Now, if you want to take their key programming on this unit to the next level, you can buy their KC501, and now you've got advanced key programming. And when I say advanced, it'll program BMW keys, it'll program the infrared Mercedes-Benz keys. Basically, you'll have a full-fledged key programmer. But anyway, let's get this thing out of the box and take a look at it and get it connected up to this vehicle here. We'll kind of do a walkthrough. Comes in a nice big case. It's going to have all your connectors in it. Now, the one thing I wish they would have done was made like two separate cases. One case with just the scan tool, the other case with all the connectors. And to me, that would have been a easier way to transport this around, because most of the time you don't use the all the connectors. Let me get my magnet to prevent this from sliding down. Now, the thing they did kind of think about, when you first open this up, what you got your VCI here. This cable right here is up in the top part here. So once you get it connected up, you know, it's kind of lengthy. They've thought this out to where you don't have to disconnect it for storage. You keep it in here. It's got a little spot right here, a little cubby hole that thing fits right down into, and then the cable itself fits down in that recess, and then the tablet fits right over that. So that's very good. Now, before we get into the main tablet here, you do have storage up here that's going to have all your additional OBD connectors. Pretty much all the connectors you're going to need. Mercedes, BMW, everything that you can think of. And I know that most people don't really care about that, so we're not going to spend any time on that, really. Now, the first thing I'm going to want to do is I want to start up the screen recording. Okay, so here's the main tablet, what it looks like when it boots up. we'll just go over a few other things. So you got support up here. If you tap that, it gives you their email address. I've had good luck emailing them whenever you've got issues. So, you know, if you do have an issue with your vehicle, I highly recommend you email them and let them know. If they get enough people on the same issue writing in, trust me, they're going to fix it. XTOOL does take pride in making their tools top quality. So let's just kind of go through some of these buttons. We're going to click more to start with, and I'll show you what's on that. You've got your profile, you got your VCI management, you've got a self-test, and I hooked this up, and I actually did this, and it comes up with a bunch of protocols, and it'll say okay whenever you do this test, and that just makes sure that the VCI is all good to go. Of course, your VCI connection, that's the serial number to this VCI for this tablet. You got your user manual. If you buy the endoscope, you can plug it in. And then, of course, profile is just that. You know, you can put your information in there. So, of course, updates is where you're going to click to see if there's going to be any updates. I just did a full update yesterday, so we should be good to go as far as that goes. Report. You got your report, your data playback, and your data view. So, you know, if you're going to log graphs and stuff like that. Now, one of the big deals is the special functions. So we'll just take a look at all the special functions right here. I'm not going to read every one of them. I'm just going to kind of scroll through. You can kind of read what you want. Okay. Remote control is just where if you needed to have XTOOL log in and help you through something, then that's what that's all about. Of course, settings. You got all your different settings right here. Make sure US units is selected there, USB settings, all that good stuff. XTOOL just takes you to their website. Settings we just went over. So now we're just going to get it connected up to a car, and in this case it's going to be our 2007 Jeep Wrangler. So I'm going to plug the VCI in. I want you to see the VCI because it's got some indication on it that and what this is so you got a car icon, 12.4 volts is what it's detecting. That center icon is USB. You can plug a USB cable into the end of the VCI and plug the other end of the USB cable into the tablet, and it won't be using Wi-Fi. It'll be a direct connection. In this case, you got the Wi-Fi signal, you got the check mark. That means that it's connected up through Wi-Fi to the tablet. So I'm going to turn the key on. Come back over here. It does have, let's take a look at the tablet. I forgot to show you that. So there's the bottom. Both sides. The top, all this has got is the USB-C connector, power button. And this is just a logo, XTOOL's logo. It does have a nice kickstand. And of course you got your camera. So before I get into the auto scan, a lot of people ask, how do you get to like your IM Readiness? If you click Diagnostic, and if you click the OBD2, we're going to click Auto Scan, and right here is where you're going to find your IM Readiness. Okay, so let me just click that one right there. So that's how you get to the IM Readiness and your other generic OBD functions. So you got your mode 6, which is a pretty handy one to have. but it's under the OBD2 icon, which if you click auto scan, it's not going to get you there. But we're going to do auto scan. It's going to detect the vehicle, and then we'll kind of do a walkthrough on this Wrangler. Now, if you do system selection, it pops up with every module that's on the car, so you can manually go into whatever module. So if you know that you just want to go into the PCM, you can just go straight into the PCM, and you don't have to wait for it to do an auto scan. We're going to go ahead and do auto scan so that you can see the topology part of it. A lot of people like the topology. It is kind of nice. Me personally, I think it's a little overrated, but I ain't going to knock anything that does have topology, because it is a nice feature to have. You do still have the list. So if you go up here to list, you know, it's going to show it in a list fashion. The nice thing about list is it spells out the exact module for you. You go over here to topology, it just gives you the acronym. Now, that's okay, because as soon as this gets done here, I'm going to show you. If you just click one of them, so like we'll just do PCM. If you're not sure what PCM stands for, you just click it, Powertrain Control Module. And to get into it, you just hit the diagnose. But that's the topology. You've got your plus and minus sign over here, so you can make it bigger or smaller. You can do a DTC report, so it'll tell you exactly what DTCs you've got. You can do a full report. And if you've got your shop information and everything, I think it pulls that up. I don't have anything entered in there yet. And again, if you go to list, the one thing I like about it is it puts the modules that have any kind of codes, it'll put up at the top. So if you have, say, 20 modules, and you got 2 or 3 that's got codes, they're going to be at the very top. So you don't have to scroll through and pick them out. So, I don't know. What do we want to get into here? Let's go into, we'll go ahead and go into Powertrain Control Module. And, of course, it's going to have all your ECM related part numbers, serial numbers, software part numbers, which is nice to have. You know, if you needed to order a new PCM or ABS module or whatever, you can go into that module, you can get the actual part number for it, and there's no guesswork as to what is going to fit your vehicle. Of course, read DTC, clear DTC, live data, we're going to get into that. Of course, actuation test. This scan tool is going to have pretty much whatever active test or special function the manufacturer allows on this vehicle, this scan tool is going to have it. We'll go into special functions. I'll just kind of let you read through that real quick. Read system configuration. Kind of tells you how your module's all set up. What's active, what's not, you know, all that stuff. System check, I'm not sure what system check is. Okay. Let's go into live data, because the one thing that XTOOL has always been good about is their graphing. So let's go ahead and select a couple things here. You can have up to 8 graphs on the page, and we're going to try to select enough of them. And I'm going to go and we're going to step on the gas pedal, and we're going to take a look at some graphing. So you got a couple different options down here. Now you can, as you can see, you can record all the data and the graphing. You can export it to a spreadsheet. You can combine it, which I'll show you what combine does. You look at the colors up there. It's got a little legend up at the top, so you can see exactly what color graph you're dealing with. You know what the actual value or the individual PID is that you're dealing with. I personally go I just hit graph. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to hit the accelerator pedal. And I'll let off. Now, without it running this particular vehicle, the throttle plate's not going to move, so I'm going to start it up. But their graphing has always been real smooth and responsive. There's been other scan tools that I've looked at, and the graphing is very choppy, very rough. XTOOL, their graphing has always been nice. So let's back out of that, display off. So anyway, so that's kind of just an overview of how to get into a module, take a look at it, the topology. Let's get out of this and let's just go over here. I'm trying to keep this video short. A quick way to get, oh, this was the one thing that I definitely want to show you. So this is a Chrysler, Jeep is a Chrysler vehicle. And this particular vehicle requires a PIN code to be able to program a key. Well, a lot of scan tools have the ability to program the key, but they don't have the ability to pull the PIN code. So if I go up here to key programming, and we go down here to Jeep, and I try to do select by model. Sometimes you have to do the type. 2007, 2017. And the one thing you notice is up here in the upper left is it says read PIN code. Well, if I click that, it pops up and tells me what the PIN code is. So now on the next screen, if I go over here to program blank key or even program old key, I've got the PIN code that I can put in and go ahead and program, you know, the keys. If you replace the module, you're going to have the same deal. So, you know, that's to me, that's a very strong feature of a scan tool. To me, what's the point in having a scan tool that can program a key, but it can't pull the PIN code? So, one other thing that I want to show, because I get a lot of questions about this as far as the AdBlue reset. What cars will it reset the AdBlue on? Now, this is a Jeep, but I'm going to go ahead and click that so that we can get in and look at the menu. This is all the European cars. I'll do Asia. There's all the Asian cars. And America. I'll do Australia too. And we'll do China. So there you are. Pretty nice selection of the AdBlue reset if you have a vehicle that you need to reset that on. Anyway, I think I've pretty much covered the highlights of this scan tool. If you need a top-of-the-line scan tool, like say, if you've got a BMW, Mercedes, or Volkswagen, or Audi, this is the scan tool for you. In fact, here's a list. I'm going to put a list up so you can see the difference between the D9S and the D9S Pro. And what you're going to see is right here where it says online ECU programming. It's got BMW, Volkswagen, Audi, Skoda, and Mercedes-Benz. And so if you've got any of those cars, this is going to be the scan tool you're going to want to get, just because of the ability that it has on those cars. Anyway, that's pretty much it. This is a very solid scan tool. I've had very good luck with XTOOL. I don't know what else to say about it. I think if you need a solid scan tool, a pro level scan tool, the D9S Pro is probably going to be a nice choice for you to at least take a look at, compare it to the others, and see what you think. Amazon week is coming up, so I don't know what kind of sales they're going to have, but usually the best deals you're going to get on Amazon is during that Prime week. So keep your eye open on any of the scan tools that that I've reviewed. If you're thinking about getting one, that's probably going to be the time to jump on it. Anyway, we're done. You guys take care. We'll see you in the next one.